Who ruined Christmas this year and what did they do? This happened like an hour ago. My mom has friends over, one of whom is the mother of a girl I used to know back in the day. Nice person, wasn't really my type, but we were casually friends. Anyway, my mom introduces SOS mom and then proceeds to tell her that I spent my teenage years saying how her daughter was, direct quote, the cutest girl I'd ever seen. Which Reddit, I swear, she wasn't my thing, and even if she was, I wasn't telling my mom what girls I had a crush on when I was a teenager. And I didn't want to be a schlong. Your daughter was ugly and I never liked her, but now this random chick thinks I was madly in love with her because my mom decided to randomly lie in front of her friends.
What are the benefits of being unattractive? A little late, but there is a girl at my college known for sleeping around a lot. There are a bunch of rumors surrounding her, but I know for a fact that she has taken 2 random guys up to her room on the same night. I worked as a doorman at the time. She wasn't the best student by any means, choosing to party over studying or anything like that. About a year ago, I was drunk at a bar and saw her there. She saw me and we talked for a bit and she asked to dance. I'm not the most attractive person by any means, so this had never happened to me. I took her offer, why not, could be fun. After about 4 songs worth of grinding or so, she turns around and gives me this wide-eyed look. She quickly says I have to go and rushes out the door as quick as she could. I assumed she had a moment of clarity and left. I met back up with friends, told them what happened, and we all left a bit later. The next day there is a huge party and apparently she didn't go. People were saying she wanted to study instead. In fact, she didn't go to the bar or any party for the rest of the semester. She made Dean's List that semester and is on track to make Dean's List this semester too. When I talk about it to my friends, they say she probably hooked up with someone else that night or she went out a different night, but I saw her look of shock. I saw her directly leave the bar. I know she didn't go to that party that she would normally go to the very next night. She hit rock bottom by simply dancing with me, and it was enough to truly change her life.
Ex-cons of Reddit, what's the most terrifying thing you saw inside of prison? I spoke to a former inmate after his release who had developed severe PTSD from what witnessed while incarcerated. One of the stories was that he was playing cards with some guys and one of them was smoking a cigarette. Another inmate who was not playing with them approached the table and asked the guy smoking if he could get shorts on the cigarette. Shorts means before you finish smoking, you give the cigarette to someone else, so they got the last few puffs of the cigarette. The smoker agreed, the inmate wandered off and they went back to playing cards. Well, the guy playing cards must have forgotten to finish the cigarette. A little while later the other inmate came back to the table asking for the short and the guy at the table told him that he had forgotten about it and finished the cigarette. Guy wanders off again and they go back to playing cards. Shortly afterwards the inmate who wanted shorts comes back to the table, comes up behind the player, pulls his head back and started poking him in the eye and throat with a pen. Dude died over forgetting to give someone a cigarette butt.
What is a dead giveaway that you're being cheated on? When their roommates ask to meet with you privately, and tell you that your girlfriend was having someone over in their room with the music on loud, the same thing she'd do when we get busy at her place. They admit to you they still have feelings for a friend they had romantic history with and continue to spend alone time with, and get upset that you call them an ex, skull emoji. Reality can be whatever they want. When they accuse you of accusing them of cheating, and that has nothing to do with the conversation at all. Here's a fun one courtesy of my dad and his second wife. When the tire tread pattern on the fresh snow in your driveway matches the uncommon tires on your brother-in-law's new work vehicle. When they become cagey about things they're normally open about, have know a couple people who did this, very open, like to talk about their entire day, would answer near any question, then suddenly they'd be out on a night with their friends, and the details of the night could be summed up in a couple words, or there'd be odd gaps in the story while they remember and try to sort through it all.
What's a weird thing you think only you do? When I need to make a decision I consult an imaginary person in my head who is a combination of everyone I know and they give me advice that I'm really giving myself. When I mow the yard I pretend I'm on ESPN and 2 sports announcers in my head are commenting on how excellent I took that turn, and the precision movements of my mowing. I have to let my wife go up the stairs first when it's bedtime because she has an irrational fear of being shot through the letterbox. Edit for the Americans. A letterbox is a slot in your door the postman puts letters through. You call it a mail slot I think. Edit 2 it's an irrational fear. Which is why it makes no sense. It's not debilitating. If I'm not there, she just runs up the stairs.
Parents of bullies, how did you find out your child was a bully and how did you deal with it? Most kids that are bullies are from parents, who were, or still are bullies themselves. My mother found out my brother had sent a girl a rude message, she apologized to the girl's parents and made my brother apologies to the girl, and she punished him. I'm old now and I still remember the family shame. Some parents have the attitude of, my child would never do that. When I was teaching, there were few times the parent of the bully would come in and complain that their child is the one being bullied, when their kid is the one antagonizing everyone else. My daughter, once, had a friend sleeping over, and I got a phone call from the mother of a boy they had messaged. It really wasn't nice and she was in the next room. I've told them countless times that bullying via phone is vile, school tells them, and yet she still did it. Normally the sweetest kid, caught in a moment of peer pressure and showing off, she lost her phone for a month and we offered a written or in-person apology, which was not wanted, a huge learning lesson.
My wife never trusted Mother to babysit our kids, but I always told her she did a good enough job taking care of me. When Mother passed, and we found all those old Viz tapes in her attic, I learned how wrong I was.